one quick question.
Okay.
You ever fucked up a tattoo? You ever fucked up and go, oh no. Oh no.
I will never tell.
Oh, really?
Everybody fucks up almost every tattoo they do, you know. No,
every tattoo. I mean, a line goes too long or something. I'm saying where you're something like, oh no, I don't know how to fix it. Like I'm fucked. I don't know what to do now.
No, I mean, I don't really, I don't fuck up any tattoos, but at the same time, I could say I'm never 100% happy with every single tattoo I do. There'll be one little thing, be like, I could have done something different here, or whatever, but the client never notices it.
Right. Yeah.
And even other artists, like I'll point shit out to my really good tattoo artist friends,
Yeah.
And they don't know what I'm talking about, And every artist is their own worst critic,
Absolutely. Yeah.
I will tell one quick story though. I was working in Eternal. I was tattooing for 4 or 5 years, 3 years maybe. So I did this guy I tattooed a few times. He was kind of a regular. And so he wanted a Jesus, and he brought in this piece of art, and it was Jesus with the cross on his back, and he's pushing himself off the ground with the cross on his back, And so he wanted me to tattoo that with the words above it, struggle never ends, You know where this is going. So now, mind you, I used to win spelling bees when I was a kid, man. I know how to fucking spell, especially the word struggle, who spell struggle, right? So anyway, I had a funeral that day, bro. So a friend of ours, he was a friend of the shop, and he died. He OD'd on nitrous oxide, man. Sniffing nitrous. It was he was like 24 years old. It was great fucking guy, and he was a good friend of everybody in the shop. So we all went to his funeral that day, and I came back and worked. I shouldn't have worked that day, but I came back. And we all came back, and nobody wanted to work. My mind was somewhere else, you know what I mean? And I shouldn't have tattooed that day. But I did. And so I had the art, and I made my stencil that day and everything. And I wrote out struggle never ends and stuff right before we did the tattoo. So I drew it, showed it to my client. He's like, yeah, it looks great. I'm like, cool, So I put the stencil on his arm, and I've been looking at it, make sure everything's center and stuff. I'm like, okay, check it out in the mirror, dude. And he looked at it. He goes, yeah, it looks great, man. So we did the tattoo, finished it, took pictures, and I still didn't notice anything weird. And the next day I come to work, and John, another friend of ours, who worked there, I walk in the shop. He's already there. He's like, hey, I want to show you something. Come here. He took the back room, and the copy machine's there, and there was a copy of my stencil sitting there. He goes, wait, did you see something wrong with that? Right away, I'm like,
oh no.
What the fuck? How did I do that? It said, struggle never ends.
You forgot the R.
Not the R, bro. It was STUGGLE. Never end.
Oh, dude.
And I was my brain just wasn't fucking working after that funeral, And I'm just like, how the fuck could I not see that? And he didn't see that. He had to have read The Struggle Never Ends, my client. In the mirror, I can see because it's backwards for him. But he looked at my drawing before I made this, before we put it on him, and he didn't notice it either. So, not saying it was completely my fault. And I'm like, fuck. So he came in that day. He went home and he showed the tattoo to his mom, and she noticed it. So he came in.
She did, yeah.
So he came in. I'm like, oh, bro, dude. I can let me just cover it up with some clouds or something. Just do some dark clouds or whatever. Something, but I can cover it up for you. We'll figure something out. But he didn't want to get rid of that lettering, and I'm like, all right, let me see if I can figure out how to fucking squeeze an R in there, And I did, you know, so it was the ST struggle. So the U, in between the T and the U, I did one more line with the R, you know, and then I hooked them all together with like little, almost like a, you know, a calligraphy type thing.
Yeah.
Shift lettering. And I hooked them together in a way where I squeezed it in there and it didn't look that bad, you know, and that's what I did. And he was happy with it. You know?
Okay. Good.
But I got real lucky, you know. And I gave him a big feet tattoo after that too, just because I felt bad about the whole thing. So yeah, that's the only time I really fucked something up.